Hey guys, welcome back to the farm. Hey, we're still trying to dry out here in Michigan. We don't normally plant much before May 1st. That's a good rule of thumb because you never know when you might get some snow up here. We've got some equipment out here in the back 40 lined up. This field will be corn again. It's our main chopping field. Last week it was about 70 degrees, so Dad took this 9400 we hooked up to our moldboard plow. We had a hay field we plowed under. About 5 years probably, that hay field. Turned it right over, and that'll be corn again too. So let's check that out. Let's go. So here's the plow he's using, tongue pull. Kong's Kildy, I believe out of Canada, 8-bottom plow. Does a pretty good job. We got a good deal on this. A lot of people don't use these anymore unless you're a dairy farmer, you're trying to plow up a hayfield. Got this mount put on here. This is all for extra stability to keep this plow from kinking. We also got a John Deere plow 3710, but it's missing a couple moldboards, a couple ripped off it, so we found this one instead, and we'll find some moldboards eventually and get that going. But we usually roll a hayfield over every year. Nice wind out here, gonna get us some drying these fields. That's what we need. But here's your plow. it was doing a pretty good job. And you can see we haven't used this John Deere in a while, but we'll get her going eventually. There used to be a barn here back in the day when we bought this field. I'm still working on that history of the farm video. This piece from here over, I'll just give you a little tidbit, was acquired in 1984. And I got a picture of a big hip-roof barn being here that eventually went down. And there's a dry cow lot here. So the farm way up there a mile, Grandpa worked his way all the way down. So yeah, there was a fat curb. This was a footing. You can see there's a rock inside this cement. And this was, someone grooved this. Obviously cattle came in and out of here, but they used to milk here. This was an old Valeen's farm was the name. But there's your plow. Let's go head back to the field. I'll show you how it looks. You see how dry this field is after moldboarding that hay field in? Mark came in here a day or two later, right before it was gonna rain. There's a glass bottle, glass piece, and dissed it, because when you moldboard plow, it can get pretty lumpy. But this field's tiled every 15 foot. That's why you're seeing how dry it is. Only from some of the woods over, so it's just a smaller piece. But now this will be corn from here all the way over and all the way back. The field goes way back. It'll be almost over 100 acres of corn here that we'll use for the dry cow lot, and then eventually take it up to the main farm. But yeah, this is what it looks like. And I tell you, a lot of cow manure mixed in there and beautiful dirt. But you see how, even though she's draining, she's wet underneath. So we've got to give it a good couple weeks. It's about 50 degrees. So it hasn't been real warm, but next week it's supposed to be wet again. The following week, so it'll be around May 1st, it's supposed to hit around 70 again. Warm weather in a couple weeks will help get that soil temperature up. Too cool right now to plant. See, here's where this tile outlet comes out, goes under the road. This is another main tile coming through here. So you can just see how much water's coming. She's drying and draining every day, that's for sure, but it takes time. And with more rain on the way, you're a couple weeks out. I'm on the other side of that field we were just in that we're gonna put corn on. Well, this is our new seeding from last year, backside, back 40 of the main farm. Pure alfalfa. We put a little bit of pasture mix in there, that's what you're seeing, but this stuff really livened up and new life, new growth with all that rain we're getting. So there's a cactus there, but we don't want that in there. Take that out of there. But yeah, she's looking pretty good. We're pretty happy with it. Like I said, we're gonna be chopping, in less than a month. Probably less than a month, usually Memorial weekend. I've seen a lot of guys comment on YouTube or Facebook, but we're all about Memorial weekend is when we're gonna be going full bore. Throw that in that ditch. Hey, another thing is we're very lucky is that we can see that water running to be around these big drainage ditches, because I know there's guys that farm around that don't have them, and they can't really get their fields tiled. But very lucky that Grandpa picked this spot, and all these county drains are running along our fields. Back up at the main farm, 7830 integrated with the Starfire 7000 and the ATU steering wheel. So we're gonna have the GPS planting the hayfield. That'll be next, probably, hopefully, like I said, in 7 to 10 days. What the boys did is we spent about, it was close to $6,000, but they rebuilt this drill, all these discs and everything along that goes with it. I mean, look at that. They were worn down. The old ones were probably down to about here, and we're gonna keep this drill because it's got this hay seeding unit on it. 30-foot 455 John Deere drill. These things went way out of control in price, so we're just gonna keep this. And now that we've got it rebuilt, now there you can see some of the hardware. It didn't take them long once they got a routine down, but So we're locked and loaded and ready to plant that hayfield as soon as we get good conditions. And I'm excited to try out that new GPS equipment. They're going to be able to plant this hopefully just by pushing a button and making looping turns if they want, so you don't have to crank that hitch around. That's what I think is going to be real nice about it. And then they're going to overlap a little bit. When you're planting a hayfield, you want to overlap it probably 6-8 inches, because you don't want any bare spots. Bare spots in a hayfield, it won't grow and a bunch of weeds will be there. So that's the drill. This was hooked to the moldboard plow and got unhooked. You've seen the action. This thing's got a lot of power. One of our older horses, the 9560R, that's the newer one. We only use that with the big stuff. But this was our main cultivator back in the day. This is a 980, so this is probably 36 foot. He hooked up to this. Remember that field we tiled? And it was all kind of messed up. Mark went in there and he kind of was using that cultivator and he was pulling it over, trying to level that out a little bit. I can show you that in another video, but that's extra tiled. That thing's tiled every 22 foot. It's going to take some work to get it back to order. But this disc I wanted to show you, we're putting it on auction. This is a 34 foot Kraus. We're going to see if it'll sell. We've got that big John Deere disc down there, so we're not too worried about it. We don't use it all that much anymore, but if she sells, she sells. If not, but it'll be on auction probably in a couple weeks. 34 foot Kraus, treated us well. And then you noticed in that barn, that John Deere wagon with the roof I was putting on it, finally got that on there. Everybody's safe and sound. I'll show you that. That's going on auction because we've got 10 of the wagons. Get rid of that one. We'll only have 9. And let's head over there. I'll show it to you. Kenny corner of the farm. This is where we keep a lot of stuff we're going to auction, but this combine has been traded in. We're still waiting for burnups to come get it. That's why it's sitting here. I had to move it out of that field because we're going to be planting that in a couple weeks. Oh, here's this John Deere wagon I got the roof on. This will make someone a good wagon. We're just not in need of it right now. The roof went on. It was kind of a pain, but I got her bolted down. This little S-Time cultivator we got going, we got this with a property that we had bought. So if any of you guys got a smaller farm, smaller tractor, this hasn't had a lot of use. These are hard to find, these little spring tooth S-Times. Good cylinder, everything works good. We had the tongue off, so we rebolted it on, but this will be on auction too. So this wagon, this, and that disc, like you said, if you got stuff on the farm, you're not using it, you got to get it moved out. Otherwise it just sits full of weeds and won't do anything. But here's a good example of how wet we are in Michigan. This is a non-tiled field, which it's a big one. Bought that. This was an 80, and then a little more history of the farm here that I'm going to go into greater detail on. Cut down the middle. This was a 40 where Dad lives now. We bought this, and I think it was about 15. I don't quote me on it, but it was 26 years later that we tied these together. He got that piece over there in like 89. So it took a long time to finally make this 80 whole again. But she's not tiled. Water runs that way. And she's just wet. You can see it. This isn't even close to being ready to get in here and till. So this needs to be tiled. But it'd be a big chunk of money. So we're still got some other ones we're doing. But this is how wet we are. Back home, hey, I'm next to the farm, obviously. I got a little cold, like 30 at night, even 28, so I had to move some more wood and get it cut and fire up that wood stove, because this house and barn heats great with the wood stove. Propane, not so much. Try to do a little bit of yard work. Grant's got his garbage truck, crane, dump truck, and his little digger all lined up, ready to go. I'll show you some of the things I've been doing. I got working on this fence. There's Mom's tree. These cherry trees, they bloom early. See, that one over there is still going, and then they blow out. So now the real growth's gonna happen. I love this tree. In a previous video I showed you I was staining the outside of this fence. Well, I ended up getting all the way down that run, and I trimmed some of them pine trees back off of it. And man, did it make a difference. I'm just trying to preserve this and make this last as long as possible. This long run, this 2 sides of my property line was very expensive, so I want it to last as long as possible. And then yesterday was my day off, so the wife and I, 1 day off every 3 weeks usually come planting season. Within the next, probably my last day in a while, the wife and I and the kids, had the kids out here, we took our aim at the inside of the fence, which is a lot more time consuming. She even got out here and she was going inside the crevices. You got to get inside them poles. The outside, that was an easy. I had a big wide roller, probably a foot, maybe a 15-inch wide roller for the outside. This, I used a smaller one, and there's just so many more crevices. But man, I'm just trying to preserve it. Got the flag flying, got the clouds popping today, beautiful day. But I've got that whole run to do. But I did a good part of it, so we're happy. Good family time, and I just want to say thanks for sticking around. I'm just filling you in today, a lot of chit-chatting, but we're approaching 50,000 subscribers any day now, and I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, all you guys that have been with me from the beginning, and there's been a lot of you, I appreciate it. Lots happened in 4 or 5 years. Haven't missed a weekly video, I feel like, and since then. So you know, lost mom, that was the beginning. That was in 2020, and then you know, I got married, 2 more kids, kept filming, kept picking the camera up, down with arthritis for about 2 months, remember that? And there'll be more and more things to come, but we just got to keep overcoming them, and I'm glad that you're sticking along with me. So on that note, take care. Grant and Summer are knocking on the window, wanting me to come in and play with them. So on that note, guys, take care. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for 50,000 subscribers. It's been a wild ride, wild 4 or 5 years. But hey, guys, they're living a ball. Hey, God bless.